Hello again, boys and girls. I have another VOD review today, and in this particular VOD review, I wanted to talk about something that Flats mentioned a long time ago in one of his videos. I can't remember which one, but it was a VOD of one of his live streams. He was basically doing one of his beginning monologues, and he was talking about how usually when your team is doing bad and it's someone's fault in particular, it's usually the best policy to just be quiet. And you'll see why as as this VOD goes on. I screw up a little bit, and it's very obviously my fault in some instances. And the same can be said about some of the things my team has done. And you'll see in this video soon enough when it comes up. But getting into this VOD review, the hero bands that I have right there aren't anything special. I just saw that the tank had 3 bands in mind, and I just decided to copy him. I had nothing particular in mind, just making sure our tank's life is easier. A lot of times when you ban what the tank wants to ban, usually it's easier for him to do his job. He feels better about it. It's just better all around. This is a high masters game. I went with Kiriko, same as always. It's my whole thing. And I would say my performance in this game was mostly good. I'll point out the flaws as they go, because there were some instances where I messed up. And although at the time I wouldn't have liked to admit that they were my fault, I really just wanted... I just want a lot of Kiriko's abilities to be fixed. There's so much wrong with both of them, but no one really talks about them because people are more mad that Kiriko just gets infinite skins. I have never been a fan of most of the skins she's gotten, but that is the cards that have been dealt to the hero I like to play. So this King's Row game on defense starts the same way I start pretty much every other game on King's Row defense, which is staying right here in my favorite hiding spot. By the way, I don't know if anyone has ever noticed, but those windows to my left, they have like some water effects on them to make it look like it's raining, but this is under a roof. I just always thought that was weird. So anyway, I'm just going to wait here until the enemy team has gone, until I'm behind the entire enemy team. I'm going to engage way too early right there, way outside the effective range. I probably could have encroached a bit more on that Moira's space and assassinated her, but once again, that's neither here nor there at this point. I see the Zarya caught out all by herself and decide, hey, she's below half, we should just engage on her. I back up, of course, trying to keep my distance. I want to poke at her, but I can't assassinate her. And right over here, our Doomfist decides to have a massive head, and I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing? You're in so much trouble! I was able to finish off the Mercy, thankfully, but damn. Right over here, I just keep healing him over here. I can't get any closer than I am right now, and I'm kind of amazed he was able to survive that. Once again, I really want him to stay up. And amazingly, he has. His name makes me think I should know who he is, but I just don't recognize who he is. I have no clue. But anyway, he mostly does a good job there. I kind of wish he was able to survive, but we have a Mercy Rest, so I think he knew that, which is why he was able to get more aggressive than he actually was. So I go in because I know that they're still waiting to set it. I can still set up because the team isn't in yet. I see the Freya's half. I go and assassinate her. I wanted to also assassinate the Mercy because I knew she was going to res him, but I got way too greedy right there. And I wasn't able to, so I'm like, no big deal, I'll be back, hopefully. If they play really slow, I can probably get back. I really wish I wasn't greedy there, but I just really didn't want her to get the res off. What can I do? I shouldn't be doing stuff like that. I go in, and even though their Mercy went down, their Doomfist in his infinite wisdom decided to go way in the back and kill me. So that's ultimately going to cost them the point, so... Thanks, enemy Doomfist. So anyway, I go in. I don't want to go too far in. I'm just keeping people up. I really don't know what the situation is around the corner, and I can't turn the corner to find out, so I need to stay back here. Once again, the enemy Doomfist is going super deep to kill me, even though I have a Mercy with me. Unfortunately, I couldn't pay attention to the rest of the team fight because the Doomfist was on me. And I wanted to use my ult before everyone died. Man, they ran us over. And they didn't use their ults. I told them not to die without using them. I really wanted the other team. I really wanted both our DPS to use their ults really early in the fight because there was no sense in sitting on them at that point. But they forgot to, and the Venture died early, so bleh. I wasn't happy about that. I wasn't happy about how I couldn't help my team in the front, but that Doomfist was in my way, so there was no getting around him. Unless I took the long way around, which just wasn't feasible at that stage in the fight. Over here, I'm just sticking around so the Doomfist can stay with me and not worry about his own front line, so our Doomfist can go to town, which he does. Right now, I'm just helping him stay up because he did a good job. I am not going to go inside that room, even though the Freya's low as per that guy, because I would have just gotten fisted, and I really didn't want that. But now that the team fight's over, I want to see if I can get an assassination here, or at the very least distract them if my whole team is up very close. Me neither. I can't believe it either. So I'm just going to wait it out over here until I'm behind the entire team. Get a few shots in their general direction because I want them to look at me since my team is really close up. I realize that they're moving in on me, so I teleport to the back. I keep the Doomfist up. The Venge is able to get off two kills, which is really nice. I go up completely for missing the Genji. I look to my right and I'm like, there's no one there, but and decided to reload. Thank you. Not the greatest time to reload. I wish you didn't die from that. And that kill ultimately ends up costing us at least that guy, but amazingly the Doomfist is able to get value. I was so tempted to teleport in and save him, but I don't have the shuffling perk, so that's a stupid idea. Even though it's really tempting when he's low health. And I was really happy that I had gotten value, and I'm like, man, I want to reward him, but don't ever do that. I go over here because I want to split the team's attention. The other guys are retreating. Once I realize that they're very obviously going to come after me, I teleport to the back. We play incredibly slow here. I'm actually glad the Soj uses her ult here to pressure them into moving in on her. Once again, it's really tempting to teleport and save her, but that's a very moronic idea. A lot of low-level Kirikos fall for that sort of thing, and a lot of low-level tanks think that the Kiriko lives to teleport in and save you. Once again, a highly moronic idea. I use my ult because there's no sense in sitting on it at this stage. I find that the tank is the only person I can teleport to. He rockets away. I'm able to teleport back. Thank God for that. That's a perk about having a tank with really good mobility, and also a guy who knows how to use that mobility. Like, Swift Step just becomes so great then. Swift Step is always better when you have someone on your team with great positioning. And I was able to take advantage of that on this occasion. We're able to play slow, the entire team comes back. Venge is able to use her ult, thank God for that. And we're able to win on the back of that. I wish we didn't have to use all those ults to make that happen. Unfortunately, like I was saying, in-game right here, we unfortunately had to expend every ult to stop them there. But what can you do? I thought to myself, the only way we can guarantee the win team fight over here is to get an assassination. I see that Freya's half health, and it tempts me into going to assassinate, but then I die. This lost team fight right here was 100% on me. I was so sad that I cost my team this point. They tried to salvage it, but they don't have any ults to turn the tide of battle, so ultimately they start dropping one by one because I'm not there to help them. One. Yep, that Valk is not going to save us. I screwed it up. They're too scattered for me to focus. Yep. Yeah. I take full responsibility for them capping this point. It is all me. I tried to force them where to die. I really wanted to get an assassination there. It would have guaranteed us that team fight, but instead they killed me and it guaranteed them the win. That was very sloppy of me. What I should have done was made sure to get a headshot on the Moira, not just a body shot. If I had gotten a headshot, I might have been able to get that assassination. But as is, I was way too greedy. Right there, I didn't hear the Doomfist coming, but I heard a calm, so I teleported away. I at this time, didn't really have any ideas for what to do. I couldn't really turn the corner because I knew I would just get picked off. I was waiting right there for the Doomfist to try and come on me. It's always very tempting as a Doom player when you see a enemy standing still, even if they have ultimate, even if they have a lot of movement abilities. It's so tempting, so tempting to land on someone. And I've made some Doomfist fall for it, and Swift stepped away. Unfortunately, over here, I didn't really have any ideas for what to do.
Wow, where was everyone?
Neither did the rest of my team,
hell?
apparently.
I tried to teleport to someone, but everyone was gone.
Unfortunately, everyone else died also, so I had no one to teleport to. We kind of had to salvage something from here. I missed my shots on that brig, but nah. We were overwhelmed anyway.
Are you kidding me? You guys both died without using your ults twice?
That was another realization I came to.
Kind of
I
joke,
really wish that both those DPS used their ults before they died.
They didn't use their ults.
I wish they had the same philosophy as me. When expending their ults, there's no sense in sitting on them, especially Overclock and Tectonic Shock. There is no sense in sitting on those. Even if they're countered, you forced a bunch of ults from the enemy team, so those are not really a big deal to waste. Over here, it reminded me, I was getting frustrated with both the DPS on this team because of first point and a third point, but then I remembered that I screwed up the second point, and I'm like, wow, a lot of us are making mistakes that were probably very privy to them being wrong. And I'm sure if you were to ask both those guys, that Vench and that Soj, if you asked them in hindsight now, watching this game, they would have been like, yeah, I did a lot of stupid things that I shouldn't have done. We should have known what we were doing from the beginning. And because of that, I was really glad that I didn't. I was very tempted to say something on a few occasions to be like, what the hell? Why didn't you use your ults? Use them earlier, blah, blah, blah. I was so tempted to just say something then. But I ultimately opted not to, and that was, you'll realize in this game, it was ultimately for the best. But over here, I was looking for an opening, waiting for the Doomfist to go in, because I wasn't able to do anything before that. I keep everyone up, I go in, I go on the left to see if there's anyone to pick off, I make them look in my general direction, I fail the assassination on the Freya. I tried to teleport up to where I saw the Venture last, but she wasn't there anymore.
I didn't know where that Venture went.
Fortunately for us, I should say, people were able to get stuff done with that distraction that I was able to do, thankfully. And we cap over here pretty easily. I knew someone was going to contest last seconds, which is why I was spamming that opening right there. I knew the Genji was going to climb through there. I climb, so I understood that. I play a climbing hero, I should say. We're putting maximum pressure right now because I know the Alari is pushing the points, so I'm not worried. The Doomfist is working to apply maximum pressure, and I want to help him. In doing this, we're making sure they can't set up for a good team fight. We're always making sure that they're scrambling to figure out what to do with us. The Doomfist is able to out-doom the other guy, which is good. I stay in this open space, I don't mind because there's no one to pick me off. Also, they need to worry about Doomfist, which is also why I was comfortable being there. But now that he wasn't, I back off a little bit with low HP. I take out that pig pen because I knew that he was going to get hooked into it, but it ultimately wasn't good for anything because they still ganged up on him. If nothing else, he could have run away, but he already used his abilities, which I should have thought about. I back off over here. I'm very close to my ult. I want to hold this corner. Because I don't want us to back all the way off, because I know we can still do something. The Doomfist is going to get back. I use my ult. Right now I'm just focusing on keeping everybody up. I turn the corner very briefly to do some pokes, but I don't want to do too much because I don't want to get hooked and die. I focus primarily on keeping everybody up, trying to see what they can do. Our attention is split and the McCree dies because of it. But that's no big deal, because we traded for a support, which is pretty nice. I really wanted that Moira dead, which is why I focused there.
Who'd she mark?
The Captive Son apparently didn't get anybody, but it scared people off, which was enough for us. I didn't want to go in any further because I didn't know where the hog was prior to that. So I just stayed and pushed.
5 minutes, sweet.
We're in a really good spot here, and the Doomfist is still pressuring them, making sure they can't set up. And I go and help him. I try to stay out of the way of the Roadhog the best I can. He sees the Moira, goes after her. We corner her, and I pick her off. I maintain this high ground because I really, really want to keep it. Oh no! Genji challenges me, but the Doomfist doesn't let him. I see if I can get an assassination, and what do you know? The Brig has low health. I assassinate her and immediately come back because there's no more value I could have gotten. At least from what I saw. I stay right over here till my abilities come back.
No Vanga, nothing.
I can't see her.
And I wait until someone else comes. And I see the D.Va and immediately start focusing her, which was a stupid idea. The way I focused on this D.Va made you think that I've never read The Art of War. Focusing on someone who's strong, which is very dumb. And because of that, we ultimately lose the team fight because of me focusing on the D.Va, which is something I shouldn't have done. I immediately should have gotten the left high ground, at least from what I'm seeing over here, and tried to pick off someone that the D.Va wasn't protecting. Over here, I'm just trying to get some damage in before the fight. Trying to make sure they back off and don't try to pick off the Doomfist. Everybody's back, so I try applying pressure down the line now that everyone can see me. I can't really get a good angle without them spotting me. I'm almost to ult, so I just say there's no point in me going on an adventure. I should just stay and build my ult so we can use it as soon as possible. I get it, and bam! I don't really have any ideas for what I want to do here, so I just spam anybody who has low health. I see the Freya's low health, I go pick her off.
Oh my god.
I see the Genji, and I'm in the process of trying to get my bearings, so I just move around. Over here, I'm just staying out of the way so I don't get focused.
Yeah.
And just like that, we cap.
That was really good.
In the past, I would have immediately
I really wish
teleported
those
to point to
guys
try and
ult
push it, but I
sooner.
saw that people were pushing it, and I'm
I
like,
really
there
wish
is
I
no
didn't throw that
sense.
second point.
There is no sense in doing that. I should keep the people who already are on point up. Oh my god, my old record is still in the way. My mistake. Should probably get those out of the way for you. There we go. Oh, I'm getting a call. 1 second. Hello. From Tellus? What is this regarding? I'm good, thanks. Oh man, more cold calling scammers. Anyway. So anyway, on this next push on defense, or excuse me, not push. This next defense is relatively straightforward. We did a pretty good job defending first point. I didn't really have a problem here. Also, you couldn't hear this because I was talking over them, but morale on the team at this point was really high because of all that time we had in the time bank, which I was also really happy about. We realized our mistakes and we stopped doing them, thankfully, which I was also happy about. But think about this, just for a second. Had I flipped out, or had someone else flipped out about me, there's no way we would have gotten as far as we did. I do not think we could have possibly gotten as far as we did, with people yelling at each other and trying to make things worse, or being like, oh, but it's his fault. No one's ever going to look to themselves if they're absolutely convinced that it's someone else's fault. The only thing you can do in instances like that is just do your best no matter what. Right here, we can see I was just poking in their general direction, getting them to look at me. The Soj immediately jumps up, and I teleport away because I'm not taking any chances.
There one.
And right over here, I'm trying to apply pressure behind them. I get the Freya. I wanted to get the Soj, but she's being pocketed. I had to get out. Damn it.
Take one.
But we are able to clean up afterwards. Over here, I'm just keeping people up because we're already way up. So doing anything ambitious would have just been a waste. Way too high a risk for the return.
And Farah.
He's gonna run at last second to point.
Yeah, he's not gonna make it from there, even with
not,
his
I guess.
overrun. But anyway, the kinds of people that you are likely
Oh, no,
to
I
yell
don't
at
think overrun goes up.
are either people who will not understand where you're coming from and will not understand that what they're doing is a mistake, or they're people who are absolutely convinced that what they're doing is correct. In either instance, with the bad people more likely to be at lower ranks and overly zealous people more likely to be at higher ranks, in either instance, you need not waste a single second convincing them that what they're doing is wrong. All you can do if someone like that costs you the game is avoid and move on. That's all you can do. Maybe, if you're lucky, like I was thankfully fortunate in this instance, maybe people will catch on to their mistakes like I did and like those DPS did. We both caught on to our mistakes and were able to rectify them. In some instances, that is indeed the case. And you want to maximize the amount of times where that does happen to be the case. And I think this game is just a really, really, really good example of that. So just remember, just in general, not every time, but in general, it's usually best just to keep quiet when people are making mistakes like that. It's usually best not to lower team morale or to make things worse by just being quiet. I mean, obviously, if someone's... I want to say obvious, but a lot of times the mistakes are obvious. But it's really a case-by-case basis. But in general, it's usually better just to be quiet, as Flats said. It was a realization I came to after many, many ranked games. So anyway, in this instance, I saw that the Jungler Queen was almost half, so I decided it's good to focus her. I also saw that Doomfist was on her. I saw the Mercy for some reason flying over, and she's all alone, so very obvious.
Everyone could see that coming.
Not to waste any time. Didn't really feel a need to go around the corner that time because they were down a tank.
Who is this irrelevant guy?
And that's all she wrote.
That irrelevant.
So yeah, I hope you take this as a lesson in boosting morale.